Hey guys, welcome to my channel, LaLaReaRea Jewelry. I am Renelle. In this video, I'm going to be telling you guys how I price my handmade jewelry. So this is going to be a video on pricing. This is just how I price my jewelry. And you guys can follow how I price my jewelry and also tweak it in your own way. But basically, if you follow some of these key points, you'll be able to price your jewelry. And this video was requested by a subscriber in my comment section, so I'm just making this video to help that person out, and hopefully this can help out others who sell handmade jewelry or handmade items, crafts or whatever you sell. You can basically just follow this formula. Well, I guess it will work better if it's something that you create, but anyhow, I'll let you guys know how I price my handmade jewelry. So basically, the key points that you want to remember to think about when pricing your jewelry is going to be the cost of your materials first. You want to look at how much it costs for the items that you're using to make your pieces, and that's going to be a key point in pricing. It's very important to try to always get your items, your supplies at the cheapest price you can get them, so that when you go and sell your jewelry or whatever items that you create, that you're going to be getting back the most profit that you can get back. So you want to consider the price, number one, of your raw materials, and always shop clearance, wholesale, the cheapest price that you can possibly get it, because this is going to be something that really takes a lot of cost in creating whatever it is you sell, handmade jewelry and things like that. With handmade jewelry, if you're making jewelry out of like a lot of the natural stones, those are definitely more expensive than like the glass beads, the acrylic beads, plastic beads, wooden beads. Those are very inexpensive. But like when you get into the natural stones, when you use real gold, when you use real silver, even like sterling silver, opposed to just using findings that's just metal findings, any like the authentic things is going to be more expensive. So you want to take that into consideration first when you're pricing your jewelry. The second thing you want to take in consideration is your labor. Whether you're the person who creates your pieces or whether it's somebody else. So even if it's yourself, you have to consider how much you're paying yourself to make those pieces. And then if you're paying somebody else to make the pieces, then you have to consider the cost for them to make it. So for example, if it takes you an hour to create something and you pay yourself at a rate of $15 an hour, then every piece that you make, you would have to add that $15 into the cost. And if it only takes you less than an hour to make it, then you would have to divide that into the time that it takes you to make the item. And I'm not saying that you have to put your pay rate an hour as far as your labor as $15 an hour, but it just depends on you, on how you consider how you want to pay yourself. And you can choose however you want to pay yourself. It just depends on you. So however you want to pay yourself, you have to factor that into the cost of how you're going to price your jewelry or whatever you're making, handmade or whatever as well. And then the last thing is going to be your overhead. And your overhead can be anything extra that it costs for you to make your handmade items, your jewelry or whatever. And that would be like if you're paying your light bill, if you're paying rent, if you're working out of a studio, the space in your home that you're working out of, water, if you have to use your water, like any other resource that you use extra that's not something that you typically may think about, but it is something that still goes and factors into you making that product that you're selling. So basically that's the key things that you want to consider when pricing your jewelry or whatever you sell is the raw materials, your labor, and your overhead. And I look at the overhead as also the profit that you want to overall make in whatever you're selling. So when I price my jewelry, I just look at how much it costs for me to make it, how much time it took me to make it, and then also the profit that I want to make off of it, because I don't want to just say, well, it cost me $2 to make this item, it took me 5 minutes to make it, I'm gonna price it for $3. That would only give you a $1 profit. So you want to consider that. And then also sometimes some things that you make, it may not be expensive for the materials. Like some items that you may just paint a wood piece, for example, you may paint like a piece of material. Those certain items are not very expensive, but when you're looking into painting and different detail things like that, it's going to be more time consuming than the cost. So you may price it based on the fact that it's very time consuming and very tedious to make, although the supplies may not be very expensive. So that's another thing that I look at too. If it's something that I'm making with very small beads and it's really going to take me a long time to make it, then my cost for the beads and all of the other supplies may have not been expensive, but I'm going to put more into like that labor cost because it's going to take me more time to work on things that's more detailed and things like that. But with, I don't know, I sell my jewelry online and then doing different vending events and things like that, depending on the audience that you're selling to. Sometimes people do complain about prices being high, and I try to be as reasonable as I can. I do feel like some of my items I do like undersell it. Like some items, like my necklaces, I typically sell like my statement necklaces around $30. Some maybe $35, some maybe even $40, but the beads that I use are pretty expensive. Like the beads that I use, if I buy them at the regular price, they're about $7.99 or $8.99 a strand. And a lot of times I usually will use at least 2 strands with those necklaces, but I definitely don't buy anything at regular price. I always buy wholesale. I use coupons. I wait until it goes down to clearance and all of that. But for example, those beads, I will use 2 strands of those beads. They're regular $8 a strand, but I will wait until I can get it on sale for about $3 a strand. So you're looking at the beads be about that would be $6 for the beads. And then a lot of times I would put a pendant in the middle, and I would also wait to get that pendant for about $3. So okay, now you're looking at about $9. And then with the wire and the lobster clip, the jump rings, and like the metals, I can maybe add another $2 to that. So I was at about $9. So I'm looking at 10, 11. I'm looking at $11 that it usually costs for me to make like my statement necklaces. And that's just like a estimate. And so with the necklaces that may cost me like $11 to make, I would usually only sell it for the $30. Just because I don't want to sell it for too much and then people are not gonna buy it. And basically, like right now, I'm still trying to build up my business and have like those loyal customers and everything. So that's something that you want to consider when you're not as big with your business. And it depends on what type of audience you're going to be selling to as well. And you want to know your target market and things like that. But sometimes when you're building it up, and some people may disagree with me on this, but I feel like if I'm still trying to build up my business, I don't want to have the most expensive prices and turn people off from wanting to buy it. But of course, if people have the money, they're gonna buy what they like. But some people who don't may still want to buy something. So I try to be reasonable with my prices, even though I'm not getting the most profit that I should get. Because with pricing your items, you should have like 100% markup as far as pricing. As far as what I know about pricing, that should be your markup. It's like 100%. That's what all of these retail stores and everything like that do on the items that they sell. And then you basically start off at a high price, and then once you put it on sale and things like that, in hindsight, you're not really losing anything, but you're giving people the idea that you're giving a sale and that they're saving something, but it's really not affecting you that much. But that's kind of the direction that once I build up my audience, I would shift in prices along the line so that I am getting more profit. But since I'm still trying to build that up, I try to keep things affordable. So basically, if something costs me $10 to make it, I at least do 50% as far as the profit. So I want to make 50% of that profit. So if something costs me $10 to make it, I'm going to at least sell that item at $20. Or I may do 25 or 26 or something like that. But at the very minimum, I'm going to do 50% more than what it costs. But like I said, according to how you should sell it, it should be 100% markup. But like I said, this is just how I sell my jewelry, and this is what's working for me. But it will, once I increase in sales and everything like that, I will have some tweaking that's going to happen. But basically, just to reiterate, you just want to basically consider your cost of your material, your labor, and then your overhead and the profit that you want to make. And if you follow that, based on that, you can go ahead and price your handmade goods, your handmade jewelry, or whatever it is that you'll make, and that should pretty much work for you. But just never undersell yourself too much. You want to be able to build up your customers and everything like that, but you don't want to get to the point where you're just giving away stuff and not making a profit at all. I think that's something that I have done in the past, just really just trying to sell stuff and things like that. I've kind of gave away stuff, but that was a mistake that I made. I try to stay away from that. And you just want to be smart about the items that you're using. Try to get it at the cheapest price that you can get it, or just try to stick with things that's more simple to make, or just really have that audience built up of your customers, and really have your target audience, your target customers really strong. And if you have that strong, then you won't have any problems. But I have problems as far as my customers, so I try to be a little bit more lenient as far as the pricing. But if you don't have that problem, then I would say go for it, and sell it at the highest price that you can sell it, because that's going to be more profit for you. But just try to be smart about what you make. I like to make a lot of things that are very inexpensive to make, and that I can make a lot of those inexpensive things. And with one technique that I would do is things that are very inexpensive for me to make, like things that may cost me, when you break down the cost, because I'm gonna buy my supplies in bulk, right? So once I make those items in big bulks and you break down the cost of each item, it may only really cost me 25 cents to make 50 different pairs of earrings at some times. So earrings that may not take me very long to make, like I may make like little stud earrings that I make out of buttons or things like that, and I can usually buy like buttons in big quantities for a cheap price. And basically all I'm doing with those is like maybe gluing a earring post to the back. That's items that when you break down the cost, it may cost me 25 cents, 10 cents to make 100 pairs of those earrings. So I can still sell those earrings for $5 each, because that's still a very big profit that I'm making off of those earrings. And then when I do bracelets, the bracelets or necklaces may cost me $10 to make those, and I may sell it for $20 or $30, so I don't make as much profit from that. But the profit that I'm making for things that cost much lesser is still going to give me more profit, that's going to cover profit of things that cost me more to make, like certain necklaces and certain bracelets. So that's how I kind of do it in a scale. Certain things that I make is going to weigh out for other things that I don't make as much profit on. So that is just how I price my handmade jewelry. Hopefully this video helped out you guys. If you have any tips for me, please leave comments below. And also be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel for more videos, leave comments of any other videos that you would like me to make, share this video, and just stay tuned for more videos. I can maybe make another video on this topic to go into more details, because I know that it's some points that I may have missed, because I'm just going off of the top of my head with this video. And then also a point that I wanted to make about, if you sell your items wholesale, then you would take that retail price of the jewelry, and you would just cut that in half if you want to sell it wholesale. So I can make a video on that as well. But anyhow, just be sure to subscribe and comment down below and like this video, and stay tuned for more videos. Bye guys.